Good morning and welcome to the Dumpster Fire 4.0, part of AIM Student Radio, the way radio should be. I am Josh. Happy Halloween. We are here. We are at the culmination of spooky season. Yes, indeed. My apologies, y'all, for that slightly shorter intro there. I am still getting everything set up. We have a fantastic show here for you today. We're going to be talking about the spookies, the sports, the movies, the entertainment. It shall be an incredible show here for y'all. How are we doing? Obviously, this weekend was a little bit snowier than we thought. That is just part of the Colorado lifestyle at all as well. Just, you always have to plan your Halloween costume around the weather. Right now, I am currently dressed up in one of my black parade jackets. This one with a black and red trim, because black and red are my colors. This past Friday, we did the Monster Mash costume dance at the Student Commons. It was an incredible night. For that particular dance, I had on my Bane costume from The Dark Knight Rises. However, given the weather, it is just way too cold for me to be dressing in a sleeveless vest and a mask that would probably freeze to my face. So I decided to switch it up. Doing a little bit of an alternate costume helps keep me warm. Let's go ahead and get a quick check here of your weather. Currently in Fort Lupton, we are looking at 35 degrees with a high of 45, a low of 22, sunny skies, wind gusts of up to 2 miles per hour. Currently in Windsor, we are looking at 45 degrees, a high of 22, sunny skies, no wind. In Loveland, we are currently looking at 39 degrees, a high of 45, my apologies there, low of 25, sunny skies, wind gusts of up to 2 miles per hour. And on the home campus of Greeley, we are looking at 45 degrees with a 45 degrees with a high of 45. Oh, that's going to be as warm as it gets today. A low of 20, sunny skies, wind gusts up to 4 miles per hour. We have a fantastic show here for you today. We're going to be talking about some of the box office successes of more recent spoopy movies, as well as if you are a Chiefs fan, you all received the ultimate fright this weekend now, didn't you? Yes, you did. And I'll get back to that later on. But this is a Dumpster Fire. You've all been warned. Stay tuned. Up next, we got a triple dose of spooky music. Keep it here on AIM Student Radio, the way radio should be. And welcome back to the Dumpster Fire 4.0, part of AIM Student Radio, the way radio should be. I am Josh here with special guest Noah. Noah, how you doing? I am good. We are here. It is Halloween. It is just past the 11 o'clock hour. It is the conclusion of spooky season. It did not last long enough. It never does. But also this Friday, we did have quite a bit of a time currently at the Student Commons where we did the Monster Mash costume dance. We had plenty of music, plenty of food, plenty of fun. It was a good night to get out. Definitely good to get like that out of the way before all of the snow hit on Saturday, because that was just not fun. It was way too cold out there for any of that. And yeah, no. It's like, how do I say this? Like, I was born and raised here in Colorado. I know what the weather is, but just because I know what the weather is doesn't necessarily mean that I want to actually deal with the weather. Mm-hmm.
Right back to sunny and hot, and it is just a nightmare.
Oh, absolutely. And then also just this, like a lot of my friends, because of the weather changes, a bunch of them got sick because it was like, oh, Monday, Tuesday, it was still really hot outside, really nice. You could still get away with wearing shorts. And then it's like, oh, it's 12 degrees in the morning. There is frost everywhere. I got to go warm up my car. I got to go scrape off the windows. I got to go shovel the sidewalk. It was like, in the span of a week, that just wreaks havoc on the immune system.
Late night, not last night at work, but the night before, it dropped down to 12 degrees while I was at work, and it was just a mess.
Oh yeah, no, I went to the gym yesterday morning, and it was about 12 degrees when I went, because I go at about 4 o'clock in the morning. And good Lord, I will say it was the most peaceful the gym had been in like a month, because there were only like 6 people instead of the usual like 20 people. So it was peaceful there. Usually at the gym this time of year, because of the cold, there's less people that go super early in the morning, at least until January 2nd. Then then so January 2nd, because usually New Year's Day, people are just too intoxicated from the night before to go. But usually January 2nd, people are like, oh, I'm going to start my New Year's resolution to get in shape. And the parking lot of the gym will be swamped. And it's this way for about a month. And then my gym, I go over to Vasa. In January, they always do like a free month for new members to try to get people in the door. And that first like month is just jam packed, no matter what time of day you go, because you get the big New Year's resolution rush, everybody, oh, I'm going to get in shape. And then after about a month, it drops off. Either people don't want to pay for extra months or they realize, oh, to truly get into shape, you need more than a month. And then they stop going.
I didn't go Monday, but I've been starting steadily going to the gym about every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm seeing some results.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, I've just been working upper body and everything.
Yeah, no, I try to do a little bit of everything. I usually go Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Tuesday, since I have class and club and all this other stuff, I'm like, no, Tuesday I won't go. And then usually Saturday, I'm always moving around anyways, because I usually go with my parents grocery shopping. And then Sunday, I'm usually just either doing stuff at home or hanging with my buddies. So I'm always just generally moving. And it does help. Like, the consistency does definitely help, because for a while there, like, when I first started, I was like, oh, I'll only do like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or then Friday it would be really hard to like get myself to go. So then it'd be like Monday, Wednesday, and it wasn't really doing a whole lot. But then when I picked up the consistency, then it really started to show, because I have to constantly work out because my metabolism is psychotic. So it's like I have to keep working to be able to burn off what I eat. Otherwise, I'm just going to turn into a ball again.
Yeah, I've noticed I've started feeling a little bit more on my stomach, and so that's kind of what pushed me to start going right
Mm-hmm.
again. Haven't exactly made much progress there, but my arms have gotten a little bit bigger.
It's like, how do I say this? It's hard. And you will hit plateaus. Like, there'll be moments when you're like, oh, I'm dropping pounds, I'm gaining muscle mass, and you feel great. And then all of a sudden you go through like a period where no matter how much you do it, your body takes a while to adjust to it. So you're not seeing results as quickly as you may have been before. And it can feel really discouraging, but that's usually when you just have to keep the consistency up. And then before you know it, like, your body starts to like adjust again. And I know, like, over the summer, I did hit that plateau where I was like, man, I'm moving around a ton, but I'm not really shifting. Like, my body's not changing that much. But then, like, around the time that the semester started is when it began to like adjust again. And I'm like, oh, okay, there we go. I just had to keep gunning through it.
Right, yeah.
Yes. But, woo, I was going to say, how much candy have you had this weekend? Not a lot. Okay. Yeah, for me, like right now, for full disclosure, I have 4 pieces of candy right here next to me on the desk. I got 2 pieces of Snickers, a 3 Musketeers, and a Milky Way. I'm not the biggest candy consumer, but this time of year I will eat the candy, because sometimes you just need that little bit of a sugar rush, especially when it's really cold like it is right now, to just be like, oh, okay, I'm back up. A little bit of chocolate never hurt. Oh.
And it kept me going through the night. I didn't really start feeling tired till like 6 o'clock, 6:30. Right before my shift ended.
Ooh, what's your favorite root beer?
That is a very hard question. I would have to say Mug.
Mug. There you go. I was gonna say, like, for me, I was always more of an A&W root beer guy. Like, Mug's good, but almost always, like, as a kid, if I had a root beer, it was almost always A&W. So I guess my taste buds are just more akin to the A&W root beer.
I would say Barks, actually.
Barks is pretty good.
Barks, the spice of it's nice. That's
Mm-hmm.
what Barks really good is. You can really taste that.
Yeah.
The others are so sweet that it masks it.
Yeah, for me, when I worked at Cinemark, that was actually my first job. We did we would sell Barks, and it was crazy because the drink dispenser that they have there on the counters at Cinemark when you go to get your concessions and stuff, on the side, like, where you don't, the side that you guys don't see, where you can dispense the sodas, They have 3 little switches. It has like a small cup, a medium cup, and a large cup. So theoretically, you push the button like, it's like, oh, it's a small, you hit the button and it's supposed to fill it up to that measurement. Hardly any of those buttons actually worked, especially all 3 of them. But oddly enough, the slot where we had the Barks in the Cinemark when I worked there, that one always worked. Every single button worked for the exact measurement that you needed. So I always loved it when anybody would order a Barks because I'm like, oh, I don't have to worry about this. Whereas the other drinks, like the Coke Zero, always tried to run over. Like, even if you pushed the button, like just the regular button to serve the soda, it never stopped on time after you let it go. So you always had to like time it right. Otherwise, it was going to run over and no one wants a sticky soda cup. And it was just a pain.
Similar to like 7-Eleven with their like coffees and hot chocolates. You fill up the cup,
Yep.
let it go until about 3/4.
Yeah, and then it tells you to let go. Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah, the Come and Go over by where I used to live had those as well. And those ones, you always had to time it like a couple of seconds even after it said to stop, just because they wouldn't stop. And I learned it the hard way because, like, the first time that I did it, it was like, okay, I stopped at 3/4. And I'm like, oh, it's still going. And I wasn't really paying attention because, like, my brother was trying to show me something he got out of one of the fridges. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, why is my hand on fire? And then I'm like, oh, the coffee ran over. Oops. But I was going to say, got to go while we can because apparently Mavericks Gas bought it out. So next year, they're going to start to rebrand all of the Come and Go stations around here to Mavericks gas stations. Yeah, it's going to be weird not calling it Come and Go. And also, too, now I realize I got to start, like, because I have quite a few Come and Go rewards points because I used to go there a lot. I'm going to have to use them.
I got a ton of 7-Eleven rewards points. Did you do the quick trip that they just
Yes, I did. I did. It is gigantic. And then that was the first place around here that had the Monster tour water. Because the first place that had it around here was there's a liquor store in Eaton where our buddy Jeff works. And they the Quick Trip was the first one to get the Monster tour water here in town. So the week that it opened, I was there. I was like, give me the tour water.
There's one Arizona that I can't find anymore. You can find it at the Cosmic Market up on.
That's right by my house. That's literally down the street from my house.
There's the green tea monster or green tea Arizona with apple juice.
Oh, there you go.
Can't find it anymore. They don't sell it there anymore.
I was going to say, you know what drink I miss?
What drink?
Sobeys.
The pina colada and the strawberry banana ones were the 2 best.
For me, it was the citrus energy, because caffeine, and the strawberry. Those are my 2 faves. The pina colada one, like, I would have, like, on a rare occasion, but for me, like, the citrus energy was just, that was my baby. I miss Sobeys so much.
If I wasn't drinking the pina colada, yeah, it was the strawberry one.
Oh, yeah. And I remember, like, at first when I tried the strawberry one, because of, like, the pink color that it has, it almost looks like Pepto-Bismol in just, like, a really big bottle. So at first I was like, what on earth? But then I tried, I'm like, okay, these are amazing.
I think some people placeboed themselves because they had that same thought of thinking it's Pepto, and so,
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
it caused that sort of reaction.
I would not be surprised one bit if people did placebo that. Because, I mean, it had the exact same color as Pepto-Bismol. Like, how do I say this? It's hard not to placebo it,
Right.
It's like the same thing with, or not the same thing, but you know how there will occasionally be people, how do I say this? Have you ever seen people that have convinced themselves that hot Cheetos are actually super spicy?
Yes.
Yeah. That's just like a whole other thing in and of itself. It's like, okay then. And then,
They're not that bad.
yeah, no, and then there's,
Doing this to yourself.
yeah, no, and then there's us. It's just like, oh, that's our breakfast, some hot Cheetos, some Takis.
Just spicy chips like that at this point aren't even that spicy.
Mm-hmm.
They're just getting them at that point for flavor.
Oh yeah. Like for me, it's got to be the hot Cheetos with limon. Though that's my fave.
The Dynamites are turbos.
Oh, there you go.
They're a bit too powdery for me,
Mm-hmm.
but I like that you can taste the corn chip more with Dynamites and especially turbos.
Oh yeah. Like the turbos. One of our coworkers, when I was training over at the bank, She had this like pickle chamoy that she would get from like she would order it off of, I think it was like HEB's website because they don't have any HEBs out here, and it was really good. And one time she brought like a mason jar of it, and then she brought like a big bag of turbos. And we were all there because, like, it was really slow. So we were all just, like, eating in between calls. And we went through all the bags of turbos. And we went through that whole mason jar of pickle chamoy. It was ridiculous.
Isn't Texas one of the only... Texas, I think, is the only state that I've been to that has HEB.
Yeah, I think it is just Texas. They don't have any out here yet. But then when it comes to gas stations, we got the Quick Trip here off of 85. Over by where Shields is, over in Johnstown. They're building a Buc-ee's out there, and a lot of people down south, they are like diehard fans of Buc-ee's. I've never been to a Buc-ee's.
It's going to be another influx of people moving here.
I mean, yeah. We are getting that In and Out over in that shopping center, close to there where it's where there's Marshalls and a Sportsman's Warehouse, like on that corner.
So there's going to be a closer one than the one up in Denver.
Yes, which I'm excited for. And they're already having to change the traffic patterns around that area because you know it's going to be swamped when they open that place up.
Like when the Five Guys opened up over there.
Oh my gosh. So that opening weekend, I inadvertently, and I say inadvertently because it wasn't planned, like that Saturday, I ate there twice. It was not planned.
At my old job, I would, as much, I mean, I didn't make very much. I shouldn't have been going to Five Guys as much as I did. But most of my paychecks
Went to Five Guys.
Went to Five Guys.
Yep. No, that was definitely me when it first opened because like that Saturday, I went for lunch with my parents. It wasn't that busy yet. So then I was like, okay, no biggie. You know, I had my double cheeseburger with, you know, the large fries because I totally forgot that the large fries is meant for like 4 to 5 people instead of 1.
Small is perfect because they fill the bottom of the bag in.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that, so I was already full. I'm walking around, I'm hanging around with my friends later at night because we didn't know what to do, so we were like, oh, we'll just go downtown for a bit, you know, and then all of a sudden we're like, wait, why don't we go to Five Guys? And I was like, I wasn't going to be like, oh, no, I was already there. So I went again. I got a smaller meal, but I was still so ridiculously full. And some of the employees that were there for the lunch shift were still there for the night shift, and one of them visibly, like, looked at me. They were like, you were just here. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, I'm fat.
The last time I went with my friend, we got a thing of fries, 2 drinks, and 2 just regular cheeseburgers, and it was $30.
Yep. Yeah, last time I went, it was actually me and Janice that went. And it was about a month and a half ago. It was like right around when the semester started. I think it was like the second or third week that we went. And it was like $36. It was like, good Lord.
It's like $10 alone just for one burger.
Yeah, because the thing with them is that they don't do combos.
No,
Everything's separate.
and
It adds up. Yeah, because even like the milkshakes, they're what, like $5 to $7 depending on the size you get.
I need to have a milkshake from them. I like that they do have though the Coke 100 drink dispensers.
Yes, the freestyle
I will
ones.
say the best drink to get out of that, in my opinion, the Minute Maid lemon lime.
Yes. I have to agree. I have to agree with you on that one. But also too, if I get the Coke, I'll try to do the Coke Zero with lime.
That's an option.
It is. Yeah, because they have the regular Coke and then they have the Zero, but you have the option to put the lime in both of them if you want. And I try to do the Coke Zero with lime. Although even though they taste kind of funky when it's like super hot outside, because they do the aguas frescas in that machine as well, like the Minute Maid ones. The lemonade one isn't that bad. And I don't know what it was, but when it was like super hot outside, like if me and my friend we went swimming, we would always go over to like Burger King and they have one of those machines in there. And those would actually kind of help like get you, you know, like back into the groove after you've been in the sun for a while. I don't know, something about them. I mean,
It cools you back down to where you're ready to
yeah.
function properly.
Yeah, I mean, granted, they weren't, how do I say this? As compared to like an actual agua fresca, you know, there's no comparison. But for what it did, I was like, there you go. It did its job. You know, it's like, oh, okay, it brought me back to life. But yas. But we have been talking here for a little bit here, so we're going to go ahead and let it get back to the music on AIM Student Radio, the way radio should be on this spooky Halloween. Enjoy. And welcome back to the Dumpster Fire 4.0, part of AIM Student Radio, the way radio should be. I am Josh, here with Noah. Since we are arriving at the end of spoopy season, Black Friday season is about to begin. Best Buy is already having some great deals. No, we are not sponsored by Best Buy, although that would be really cool. And right now we have Noah looking at some deals on some TVs, because especially us gamers, we need our TVs. But before we go ahead and kick it back to the music, let's just go ahead and get a quick check here of your weather. Currently in Fort Lupton, it is 39 degrees, a high of 44, a low of 23, sunny skies and no wind. Currently in Windsor, we are looking at 37 degrees, a high of 44, a low of 22, sunny skies, no wind. In Loveland, we are looking at 36 degrees with a high of 44, a low of 27, sunny skies and wind gusts of up to 3 miles per hour. And currently on the home campus of Greeley, we are looking at 45 degrees with a high of 45, a low of 21, sunny skies, wind gusts of up to 7 miles per hour. In other words, it's still cold. Not snowing, thank the Lord, but it's still cold. But we'll make it through. I was going to say, I'm already terrified. I'm like, oh man, my gas bill this winter is going to hate me. It's going to be like my energy bill was this summer, like having to have the AC on all the time. It's like, great. Oh, we have central air in my place, which is a blessing and a curse. I mean, it's a blessing because obviously, you get air all throughout the house. But a curse because when that energy bill comes through, especially with the summer like the one we had, oh lordy.
Well, this was definitely one of the hottest summers we've had in a long time.
Yes. And then one of the most humid ones because it would be boiling hot during the day and then freak rainstorm. And, when you had that going on for weeks on end, it was just humid and buggy. And it's like, however, I will say the one thing I really did like though about getting so much rain this summer as well was the fact that we actually got actual fall colors here in Greeley, because we hardly ever get that much color variation in the leaves here. Usually the cold hits and all the leaves are just gone, they're dead, they're gone, there's no changes. But this year there was a lot of changes. Even if you look at some of the trees on campus, they looked beautiful. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, it is beautiful. If you go down 20th Street just right here, if you take it further down over by Sanborn Park and you take it all the way straight up to 23rd, there's so many color variations. I was like, okay, this is really cool. That was the one perk of getting so much rain this summer, is that the leaves lasted a little bit longer when the cold hit and the seasons changed. So you did actually get to see some color changing. Didn't have to go all the way up to the mountains to get that this time. Especially right now, it's kind of hard to get into the mountains because they're kind of buried in all that bloody snow. I know a couple of weeks ago they shut down Trail Ridge Road in a Rocky Mountain National Park for the season, and that one will obviously have to go through Estes, get into the park, and then head up the road. So my guess is Estes, it's probably not too bad to get up there because, they do keep it for the most part pretty clear because obviously, huge tourist destination. But it does get trickier, especially later on as the cold hits, that they will, if it gets really bad, they will shut down the highway, and they're like, yeah, no.
Warning to anyone who's never been to Estes. When you're coming up the mountain, you finally made it through all the curves, you're finally getting into the park, there will be a giant pothole right there at the end. Just be very careful.
Yes.
Especially for the first time.
Yes, if you're going up into the national park, then yes. I was going to say, I haven't gone up to the park in a while. I want to say probably a good 10, 12 years. We go to the actual town all the time, though.
That's what I meant, when you go into the town.
Oh, right at the, yeah, I remember now. Thankfully, we usually take our Tahoe when we go up there because it's usually the four of us, and it's got a pretty wide wheelbase. So we might barely feel it if one of the wheels hits the edge, but for the most part, we just kind of glide over that thing because of our Tahoe's it's a 98 Chevy Tahoe, so it's still one of the big boys, and that thing's like a tank, so.
My Impala,
I took the first time I drove to Estes by myself, it was my Buick that I had for a long time. It was the 96 Buick LeSabre, and I hit that pothole. Oh Lord. I was like, my car's gonna get stuck here. So, yeah, I know all too well that. I mean, I have my Jeep now, so I definitely have a good chance with it, but you still got to be careful because I do have a little crack in my windshield, and if I hit the pothole just at the right angle, like, that windshield's going bye-bye. So, yes, if you are headed out there, do be careful. There is a giant pothole. Also, feel free to check out the Stanley Hotel. No, we are not sponsored by the Stanley Hotel. I'm just saying, the emo in me, if I ever got married, it would either be Red Rocks, because you can actually rent that when it's not, or on dates that they don't have concerts, and people do have weddings up there and stuff, or the Stanley Hotel, specifically the ballroom of the Stanley Hotel in October, and the wedding would have to start just as the sun's going down. Like, that's just like the emo in me that just like needs that. It is a freaky place. Like, you definitely, how do I say this? Even if you don't believe in whatever's going on in there, you do get a very weird vibe when you step into it. And then also, too, they're not afraid to cash in on their legacy. So right in front of the main building, they have a replica of the labyrinth from The Shining. So there's enough to creep you out there. You go inside, you go to the right, they have the basement area, and they have a bunch of props from the movie. They have one of the axes, they have the typewriter. Like, it is really cool. Like, they are not afraid to cash in on that legacy.
Another very scary place I've heard of that we have here local to Colorado, Riverdale Road, an 11-mile stretch of road.
Yes, it's not too far from here either, and it's apparently very spoopy.
It connects Fort Lupton and Brighton, if I'm remembering this right.
I think so. Like, I think I've actually been on that road during the day because I've seen pictures of it. I'm like, I swear I've taken this road before, but I've never done it at night. There's a part, how do I say this? A part of me does want to do it at night, and a part of me doesn't.
It's the allure of, it's the mystery of it all.
Yeah, also, too, if you go if you go a little bit east of Greeley, like, if you go between, like, Greeley and I want to say Gilchrist, like about that halfway point, and you take one of the county roads, I can't remember which road specifically, but you take one of those county roads east, and there is like a little bit of a ghost town out there. Like, I forget the name of that town, but you can still see a bunch of like the abandoned buildings and like an abandoned schoolhouse.
It connects Brighton and Thornton. That's where.
Oh, okay. I was like, I know I've been around that road.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Going to work, I take 85
Yeah.
up to 66.
Oh, and then
Either
cut it
all
to.
the way- all the way up to Main Street,
Mm-hmm.
or I take it up to I-25, and then from I-25 to 119.
Oh, okay.
So I pass through Gilchrist, Platteville.
Yeah, that whole stretch of road. Yeah, no, this one's like you go like in between both of them, and then you go east, and there's like that little ghost town, and it's creepy because there's like the abandoned buildings and stuff. And I know for sure I want to get pictures like there just of the buildings and stuff, like right as the sun's going down, because you get the mountains in the background, you know, the sun, and then like these just like destroyed buildings. And it just looks really cool. And I'm like, if I can just get my camera settings just right, like just do like some widescreen, like panoramic shots, I'm like, this would look sick. Because I'm a sucker for trying to take like cinematic looking pictures or like cinematic like scenery shots. So I know I got to go back because I know I've driven past it a few times because one of my dad's buddies has a ranch out in Kersey. And sometimes going around taking that shortcut gets us there quicker than like going up to 34, you know, going to Kersey, then navigating around, because like Kersey, like the town itself is small, but then all the ranches out there, like it's kind of spread out. So sometimes it's easier because like we have one buddy that has a ranch on one side and another buddy has another ranch on another side. So usually to get to that other one, which is where they do like most of their big parties and stuff, it's just easier to like go down and around than trying to like cut all the way through. It is. Oh man, those parties, they're fun. That's all I'm gonna say. They are very, very fun. And now we are getting very close again to the top of the hour, so we will let it get back to the music here on AIM Student Radio, the way radio should be. Up next, we got "Bite Me" by the pop princess herself, Avril Lavigne. Enjoy. And welcome back to the Dumpster Fire 4.0, part of AIM Student Radio, the way radio should be. I am Josh here with Noah. Hello. And we just wanted to go ahead and sign it off here for today's episode. We are getting close to that noon o'clock hour. I don't know about y'all. It's like I got a soul session to do here in a sec, but I am hungry, even though I've had candy. That's just the problem with the high metabolism, you know? It just happens. But oh well. But that about does it here for today's episode of the Dumpster Fire. We do thank you all so much for listening. We will be back. More chaos, more Dumpster Fire, much wow. Part of AIM Student Radio, the way radio should be. We got more music coming up. Up next, we got Under the Bridge by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Stay tuned.